We have a problem here in no code, low code land where we are really good at building things, building products, building new ideas fast. We do this well. But we don't, where we need improvement is in our marketing of those things. So it always makes me happy when someone comes along and takes the initiative to address how to get, solve the problem of getting your app idea out there, the name out there, starting to get initial feedback from your target audience. And yep.so has done that. It seems like they're specifically for Bubble applications too. I'm pretty sure it's built on Bubble. At No Code Life, I'm not sure who that is exactly. We follow each other on Twitter, but I don't think we've ever met. But I came across it last week when I was just scrolling through my Twitter feed and looking for, I kind of just go look to Twitter now for all of my news. And bam, I got hit with like yep.so. And it's literally like the answers a lot of the problem or it solves the problem that I'm always bitching about here on this stream. It's like, how do you start getting feedback before you have a product? And this seems like the first step in that, which is why I'm excited about it, because it is basically just a simple landing page for your app idea. And the claim here, and I'll show you exactly what I mean, is idea to signups in 15 minutes. Speaking exactly to our problem, right? I want to just call out as I'm going through this. I'm going to go through the sign up and just see how easy it is to get going. How do you not have views of my? I don't know, man. It's a good question. How do I not have views of my videos? My content is good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. I'm just kind of putting in the reps here and seeing what happens. All right, so the idea to sign up in 15 minutes. Now that's a pretty bold claim. Trying to get signups in 15 minutes. I mean, it's bold, but I want to go through the entire sign up and just kind of even call out the marketing on this particular page or going through this because they're speaking exactly to my problem. And that's how I think we all have to set up our marketing. Like you're speaking exactly to who you're targeting's problem. That is missed a lot when things are too wordy, things are over explained, or the app creator will put too much emphasis on one feature of the app that the users may or may not care about. They're not sure yet. Look at this. Look right straight out of the gate here. From idea to sign up in 15 minutes, launch a landing page and start collecting signups in less time it takes to design a pointless logo. How many times have I said that? How many times have I bitched about people spending too much time on a logo when it's probably going to change? So like when someone calls this out, it just makes me happy. And I know exactly, I think the sign of a great page is that I know exactly why I'm here. In the first like 2 seconds that I'm looking at this, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do here. I know why I'm here and I know what to do. I'm not going to create a page yet. I'm going to go through this because I also want to point out this. Yep.pro. I'm not sure what that is exactly. Maybe that's a tier of service or something. But I want to go down here. Does any of this sound familiar, right? And I know I just said that, oh yeah, it's, some things are too wordy, but let's just take a look at what this dude is saying here. Does any of this sound familiar? You're tired of procrastinating over which of your startup ideas to pursue. Your friends roll their eyes when you mention your new idea. Come on. We know this is happening. You pay for almost 50 domains each year that you'll likely leave to your kids unused. Lucky them. You're not taking enough swings to make a hit, likely. Oh, I missed one. You spent 100 hours. You spent hundreds of hours building apps nobody ever used. Come on. This is my problem. There's a lot of our problems. Let's be honest here. Something has to change. Here's a plan. No more wasting time planning. Move faster. Think of an idea. Get it out there ASAP. Let it sink or swim, and then move on. No logos, no custom domains, which is interesting because I just saw today that No Code Life put out a tweet that said that they just implemented no custom domains. So I don't know if that's still true. Just convey the value proposition effectively and let the data do the talking. And that's what I think a lot of us miss, right? This is what I miss. I don't know. Like I can build things on Bubble. I'm confident in my ability to solve technical problems. What I'm not confident in is how to position this in the best way to the people that I want to use the app. Position whatever problem I'm building. I'm not confident in my ability to do that. So this is exactly what the pain point that No Code Life is speaking to here, and it's just it's like he's reading my mind. It's or she. I don't even know who No Code Life is. I assume it's a dude only because of the avatar on his Twitter profile. Yeah, pretty sure it's a guy. If people seem interested, talk to them and find out why they're interested. This is the Yep. This is the Yep framework for choosing what to work on. Yep is the place you can go from idea to starting a conversation with real potential customers in a matter of minutes. My goodness. Sean Puri is said the number one piece of advice he gives to everyone is what you work on is the most important decision you'll make. If you agree, join the Yep family at No Code Life. So let's just check out at his profile quick. I just kind of want to take a look. At No Code Life. We follow each other. Yep.so. So this dude knows Bubble. Looks like he's put out a couple of Bubble crash courses, probably like a boot camp style thing, and he's cranking out these products. Specifically, it seems for Bubble users or for Bubble developers. All right, so I'm gonna take a look. Let's sign in, see what happens here. I'll put it in the chat too. If any of you want to try this yourself. Yep.so/pro. And if you're doing this along with me, throw your ideas in the chat here. Make this a little conversational. So super easy. I'm just hitting create a page. And so I don't even have to log in. That's the interesting part. I don't even have to log in before I create a page. Right? I'm not getting hit with a sign-in screen yet. It's just create a page. And what's my idea? What's my idea going to be tonight? Let's build I'm working on a real estate app now, so that's top of mind. So I'm just going to use that. Chomp. Start. All right, so it's created a special page for me. I can tell by the URL, yep.so/create/chomp. Okay, welcome. What to write on your page? The page is structured based on Harry Dry's legendary step-by-step guide to launching pages that convert. See, we're talking about conversions here. Click here to open up Harry's guide in a new tab. Keep this open for now. Complete how to publish it. Complete as many sections as you want. Anything left blank won't show up on the final page. Once you're ready, click publish options in the menu to publish your own page. Okay. Start creating. All right. Type directly into the placeholder text. Explain the value proposition. Okay. So what I'm getting here is that there is you're entering your app information into what feels almost like a Notion doc, right? It's kind of how it feels here. And this is going to spit out a landing page that summarizes everything that you're putting in here. Explain the value proposition as simply as possible. All right. So in my idea, I'm doing, or the app idea that I'm working on, evaluate property values fast. I don't know. Subtitles are where you get specific, introduce the product, explain how it creates the value in your title. Enable hero image. So I can add a logo or a hero image here. Pretty smooth transitions here between the different elements that I'm seeing here too. This is like, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is built on Bubble. Use an emoji, embed a video, upload an image. Let's see what happens when I upload an image. It'll go white. Okay. Subtitles are where you get specific. I read that already. Right here, write a call to action here. Sign up today. Social proof adds instant credibility to the value you're promising. Get a quote from someone your audience will recognize. All right, so this is where you can put like a testimonial. As someone who's new to no code and Bubble, I'd love to see a session where you show how to build a replica for this app. Ooh, okay, interesting. I could do something. I've tried those build sessions where we rebuild like Facebook, like the Facebook login page and the or Spotify. We did like a Spotify replica. I don't know. It's weird because I'm not sure how technical those are, how good those technical sessions are. I've kind of got mixed reactions to it, so I've been wondering is that helpful to people when I do that? Is it like you want to? Let me ask you this, Sarthak. Do you want to do it so you can kind of follow along with what I'm doing and build it yourself, or do you just kind of want to see like the way that I approach building a page from scratch? Like help me out there because it's easy to go down a rabbit hole that I think people find kind of like not helpful. So it's hard to know where to focus, but I'd be interested to hear more about that. All right, first feature or expected objection. Describe how this feature will work or how you will handle your customer's objection. So right off the bat, speaking to like what if you were in like a sales call, not a sales call, but like, you're trying to speak to a specific person. What is their first objection going to be? Something that comes to mind for me, where, like I hear this about Bubble all the time. Can Bubble scale? Can Bubble scale? Can Bubble scale? Can you scale to 1 million users? Can you scale? Can you have 8 million records in a database and the queries will still perform well? Those are objections that people who are not familiar with Bubble, these are the blockers that they have before committing to using the platform. So the reason I call that out here is because like this is exactly you're calling that out in your landing page's marketing. You're saying like you're thinking from the perspective of your user, of the person who is going to be using your app. Why is it that what are they going to say and how can I address that on the forefront so that they are not you don't have to keep answering the same questions over and over again. You're putting your best foot forward here. I hear the same questions about Bubble, and for people who are just getting started. I actually there was a meetup in Williamsburg or Greenpoint rather here in Brooklyn, and there was a couple that came in and they were interested. They have an app idea related to real estate also, which is just happened to be coincidence that I'm also working on a real estate app. But they had the same questions that I had when I started using Bubble when I, back in 2017, like the same things that I was worried about, they're worried about. Right. So it speaks to like the messaging, the position of the messaging. It just doesn't, the questions were, can Bubble scale? Can I make a pixel perfect application? Will people know that it's built on Bubble? Will investors be more inclined to invest if it's built with custom code over a no code tool? These are all concerns that people have. So I'm using bubble as the example here, but this is, everybody has this problem. Whatever target audience you're trying to get to use your app, they're going to have questions about, why should I use this? Why should I spend the time to learn how to use your tool? Are you really solving my problem? They're going to have objections. And what I think is so smart about this is that they're calling this out right here in the marketing page. So No Code Life, or whoever designed this, definitely has some experience creating landing pages, because there is, you can tell in the landing page of yep.so itself that that it's speaking directly to a problem, to my problem that they've targeted with this. I would like such a session because it'd be cool to learn with the real world applications rather than boot camps that teach you everything before you even start building something. Yeah, that's true. It's hard to learn from theoretical knowledge. Like if you're just learning, like, okay, we're going to learn about custom states today. We're going to learn how to structure a database. We're going to learn how to build a backend workflow. That is hard because it's very difficult to see how that applies to you and your situation, which I agree. I think it's much better to have an app idea in mind when you're approaching these tools, and building the smallest version of that. But yeah, I mean, we can definitely, let me think on it. I'll think about what would be the best. I don't know if I want to necessarily rebuild this site, because there's a lot. I don't know. I don't know that. Why don't I want to rebuild this site? I'm not sure. I almost feel like I'm stepping on No Code Life's toes, I guess. I don't want to rebuild something that is that they put so much effort into. So I think what I would rebuild is something maybe a little bit closer to your use case. If you give me a couple of ideas of something that you would want to see me build, that's kind of more related to, I think, something that like something you're building, or we can build a simple version of that, and I can just kind of talk through my thought process a little bit. Hopefully that's helpful. All right, second feature or expected objection. Going back to the landing page here, right? So notice how it's not really, I think, feature here. It's not an endless list of features. And I think that's what a lot of people get caught up in. I do too, right? I'm not above this. I think a lot of people get caught up in how much the app does in when they're marketing. Like, it has this feature. Look, it can do this. It can do this. It can do this. But without much thought to whether who you're talking to cares about those things. So I like the way that they position this as an expected objection, as opposed to just the feature, right? What does this app do? No, it's what is it that the person that's reading this would object to when they're looking at this idea for the first time? What would they object to? What would they object to using this? But does it do this? But does it, what would you expect that is? So a good way to test that, and the funny thing that I'm seeing as I'm talking through this, it's like everybody does this. It's not just no code people. It's developers, people who are trained in computer science, who have traditionally who know how to build software with code. It's the no code people. It's product managers, right? Even the people that you would think know better fall into the trap of building something first, thinking that they have to do that first before they have anything to show somebody. And that's just not the case. Like, you can start getting, ideally you're building and you're getting feedback from a site like this right off the bat, because even if you get signups from this page, then you know what features to build first, right? So before you've even built anything, you're getting you're starting to get feedback, so you know kind of like where to focus your development efforts. And I think that's why this is a good approach. All right, let's see. Apps get replicated all the time. That's how most developers. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Maybe I'm being a little too um, picky about it. I just, yeah, I mean, replicating whatever. I'm going to be replicating someone's work, right? This dude, this dude has another bubble app that lets you convert your Notion YouTube content to online courses. Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on his Twitter profile. That's me. Why am I going to myself? At no code. That must be at daily.so. Quick, yeah, this one. Quickly turn your Notion content into engaging micro courses. How the hell does that work? Let's see. Daily.so. Turn your knowledge into an income. Quickly turn your Notion, Loom, or YouTube content into micro courses your student will love. KP. Curate your knowledge on the platforms you love. No need to learn a new tool. What's another interesting? Daily is a course delivery platform. Think Podia, but for concise, bite-sized courses, it delivers courses via drip sequence of emails, which are tailored to the schedule of your students. It aims to improve your course completion. Oop, I'm not sharing. It aims to deliver. Where was I? It aims to improve your course completion rates. I've heard of these. There's an email-based course, EBC. EBC. Has anyone heard of this? Um, Email-based course. It's someone who came through one of my bubble boot camps taught me about this. He was building an EBC, or he was helping other people build an EBC, which is basically like you get an email like on a regular schedule, like daily, for any type of thing, right? Like if I wanted to do one up for bubble, it would periodically send out like, okay, this is today's lesson, this is the tutorial, and people can do it at their own pace, which is what this sounds like. But it sounds like he's automated quite a bit of this, because that was a lot of work. I think the reason that I didn't stick with it is because it was just a ton of work to set up the email based course and put all the content in there. And I wanted to make it probably a little too perfect, more than it needed to be. And eventually I just gave up because it was too much effort. Um, but yeah, this seems interesting too. Let's go back here, see what else he's got. Second feature or objection. So you've got the third feature objection, and then we're down here to the add another feature. This is your second chance to give some social proof using existing customers. All right, so another testimonial will go on the bottom here. FAQs, remind the reader why they need to sign up. Hi there, type your founder letter, a founder letter written to your perspective of the audience. Think of it as a pitch. This is what your chance to write something long form content about why you believe. I guess the idea here is that if they've made it to the bottom of the page, they're willing to read a little bit more, right? So you grab them with this very what was that? You grab them with kind of the yep.so. You grab them with what they can do. The call to action is here. And as they scroll down the page and, how it works. So they've set it up here how it works in 3 steps. They've literally like followed their own advice here in the way that they've set this page up. All right, so I don't know how much I really want to add to this. I don't know how much I want to add. Like content, view page as a draft. Let's see. All right, so this is where it prompts you to sign up. Fine. Like I'm already invested at this point. I love this type of sign up process because I've already invested the time into, putting this page together. It makes a lot of sense. I agree to the terms of use and privacy policy. I don't necessarily want to be on the mailing list just yet. I get a lot of emails. Let's view the page. Whoa there, partner. You seem to be missing a few key elements from your page. Please add this before you preview it. You can always change it later. Your main description is empty. Please complete these as a bare minimum. Remember the more sections you complete, the more compelling your page will be. Okay, fine. Properties. Fascinating. Main description, I guess. Is that this? Is that the main description? Evaluating the cost of properties on Zillow is slow and inaccurate. Do it in half the time with daily updated. See if that's enough to get the page up. Yep. And look at that. How easy is that? Join the wait list. It really cannot get much easier. Let's see what else we've got here, though. Publish options, public everyone. Draft only to you. Oops. Oh, I honestly didn't mean to do that. I guess I just went live. But I've got now, well, I'm glad I did that now because now I can see I've got a unique URL here where I'm going to be sharing it, created a unique link. I can add if I purchase up into the Yep Pro, I can buy a custom domain, post sign up surveys, send signups to Airtable, compare ideas side by side. So I guess you can use Airtable as kind of a back end. Ship up to 50 pages. Jesus, that's a lot. All right, how do I get back to, I want to get back to my dashboard here, your pages. I want to create new pages. Okay, this one's here. Very pretty, very pretty. A lot of effort went into this design. All right, let's edit the page. Oh, I see. Okay, so this, okay, so I can come back and update this at any time. Let's see what the page stats are. Oh, wow, look. Views, you have the conversions. Get 100 views. Goal 2, get 25 conversions. Goal 3 is your conversion rate 25% or above. So I guess a conversion is considered if the person has signed up like entered their email, right? So views to, I guess that's what they consider a conversion. Let's find out, right? Sign up today. Your sign up was successful. If you would like to further support this project, please share in the tweet below. Oh, that's awesome. Click to pre-fill your tweet. Connecting to that Twitter API. It's a bitch. All right, well, that's going through. Took me to Twitter. I joined the waitlist for Chomp. Check it out. Landing page built with yep.so. Very cool. Very cool. Very easy. And then I've got a conversion. That's one conversion because somebody signed up. God damn, I got to talk to this. I got to talk to this guy. I got to talk to at No Code Life and find out how he came up with this. I want to get him on the stream. Build your portfolio of small bets. 50 pages, custom surveys. I guess there's a survey component to this as well. And you can create as many pages as you want. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this for any app idea. I'm actually going to recommend this to my client. We've been building in Bubble for a little over a year now together, and we have users, but internal users, and we're just turning this onto the opening it up as a beta. But it feels like we've been building forever, and like this is a great first step for checking to see, like you can share these links anywhere, right? You could put this on Facebook. You can put this in, like, if I'm in the real estate space, I can put the custom link into a Facebook group and say, hey, look, there's a new tool that's coming out. I don't even have to say it's mine. There's a new tool that I find helpful, and just throw that in a Facebook group or on LinkedIn, wherever I guess like your target audience is. That's where you would want to drop this link. But you can see what kind of convert. Look how, like, that we did that. They held up to their name, or to the claim that they made about sign up, or landing page to sign up in 20 minutes. It did it. It did it. And you have a dashboard where you can see what the like all of the things that are happening. Like, instead of having to learn like Google Analytics, like those clickable events, or creating this in Bubble, right? Like when I sometimes create clickable events in Bubble to track how people are using the app, right? Like, click on the button, add one, so you can see like what people are actually pressing on, and see what features they actually find valuable. But that's a lot. That's high effort. It's such a high effort to set that up and collect all of that data, or learn Google Analytics, where you're making everything a trackable event in Google Analytics. It's useful, but it's hard to set up. Like, this took seconds, or minutes, not seconds. I'm exaggerating. And I could have easily tweeted that out and probably got a few more views on that page if it was a real page. Would love to pick No Code Life's brain on how he came up with ideas and how he tests, builds, scales, and scales his apps. Yeah, me too. I'd love to get him on. I'm gonna send him a DM after this, and see if we can't get him on to kind of explain how he came up with this, because the greatest ideas seem so simple in retrospect, but this is the first time that I've seen anything like this, and it seems like this dude comes from the Bubble background, Bubble space, because it's built on Bubble. And just taking a look at the profile, there's a lot of Bubble related stuff in there, and it's probably just a problem that he recognized in the Bubble community. Like I said, this is something that I talk about all the time, where we're doing a great job of building stuff. We're not doing a great job of marketing and putting our ideas out there to get the signups. I like in this area, right? So this is a solution to my problem. And when people think that they have to build something, build a functional app in order to start getting feedback, that's just not true. It's just not true. This is a perfect example of something that you can do that'll take you 15 minutes to put together and start getting feedback and start seeing, okay, which features should I build first? Because there's a million different directions that I can go in, and without the insight of your target audience, you're going to build the wrong shit. Guaranteed. You are going to build the wrong shit if you're not talking to anybody. Even if you have the problem, I've had the problem that I was trying to solve, and I still built the wrong shit. It's like magic. It's like you almost always guaranteed to get the first few features wrong if you're building in a silo. And like I said before too, this is not just us; it's product people too. Product people who come from a product manager background, who are literally the person that is meant to engage with the audience to make sure that they're building the features correctly. Even when they soiree into the development side, they still make that same fall into that same pitfall. I've seen it happen. It just seems like anyone who has the capability to build something seems their first impulse is to build, right? It's just it everyone does it. Everyone does it. I do it. It's like it's just hard to it's very hard to, it's very difficult to get out of that I'm just going to build things and then show people mindset. And it is a rabbit hole. He's also got the clean, simple, yet good to look at Notion UI. Yeah, it does. It feels like a Notion document. It does. It feels like a Notion doc, which is, it's easy for most people to pick up and just kind of understand what's happening. I think like my favorite part of the user interface here is that um I knew exactly what to do. Like there was no question at all in my mind about what I was supposed to do on the landing page when I first signed up. Like I knew exactly what to do. And that to me is the mark of a good design, right? Talk about UI and UX, and people getting kind of, like hung up on how pretty their app is or isn't. But to me, this is the best mark of a good design is that I just knew what to do. There was no question. No one had to explain it to me. I did very minimal reading. There was very very little instruction on what to do, and yet I was able to publish a page, um, and navigate through the system here, navigate through their dashboard. Where is it? I lost it. With no explanation, right? I almost hope it doesn't get any more complicated than this. Oh, you can look at all this page headline, grading colors. So you can customize this a bit too. Oh shit, I'm not sharing it. Hold on. There's quite a bit of customization you can do to the style of it, right? Make this green, the color option, refresh social image, page slug or vanity URL. What other options do we have here? Publish the custom domain. The first CTA button you should scroll to. Add a survey, convert conversation starters. Enable this to ask for donations after a visitor signs on to your page. It's a great way to test to see if your signups are really serious about your idea. In return, you can offer them a discount or other perks when it launches. You will need to first go through the donation setup process on your profile page. Cool. And then you can add custom CSS. Inspect the final page. Custom CSS will not affect this editor use. Important to ensure that your custom CSS overrides the standard CSS. So these are all my page settings that I can doing. I mean, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of limitations. If I can use custom CSS here, not that I know how, but if I did, that would be that would be the way to go. I dig it. I also want to take a quick look over at this here. I've never heard of Harry's. Every Monday, I shared 3 short examples, 2 copywriting tips, 1 favorite tweet. Marketers voted it #1 in marketing newsletter. 130,000 people enjoy it. Sure. My step-by-step guide to landing pages that convert. 4 minutes. Should we read this? I kind of want to read this. All right, there are two parts to a landing page. What's immediately visible above the fold and what users scroll to below the fold. I see that terminology in Bubble a lot, and I'm embarrassed to admit that I never looked up what that meant, above and below the fold. Let's start by above the fold. To quote Donald Miller, a caveman should be able to glance at it and immediately grunt back what you offer. Here's my formula. Explain the value proposition in your title. Explain how you'll create it. Subtitle. Let the user visualize it. Visual. Make it believable. Social proof. Make taking the next step easy. CTA. What does CTA stand for? I'm not sure. There's 100 ways to write a great title. I'm going to focus on 3. Explain what you do. When your product is unique, all you have to do is explain what you do as simply as possible. Quantum, coffee-infused energy bars. Muzzle, silence embarrassing notifications while screen sharing. 90% of this, Velez, 90% of this cleaner is made from food waste. 1 click, no passwords. The world's fastest checkout. Hooks. Most products aren't unique, so hook adds oomph. The easiest way to write hooks is to address your customer's biggest objection. So we were talking about this before. Value, objection. Rank higher on Google. The objection is I suck at SEO. The value is you don't have to be an SEO pro to rank higher on Google. Value, ace the SAT. Objection, I bet it's hard work. Ace the SAT with just 10 minutes of studying per day. Cool. Erectile dysfunction pills. I can't ask my doctor. Erectile dysfunction pills direct to your door. Own your niche. Some startups transcend hooks. Another pattern is to your own niche in 1 line. Write the conviction. You're the solution. How small brands sell more online. Basecamp, the all-in-one toolkit for working remotely. Descript, it's how you make a podcast. Sparkloop, the referral tool for newsletters. You're the solution. Subtitles are where you get specific, introduce the product, explain how it creates value in your title. All right, so this is great for someone like me who doesn't have any marketing experience, to really create a landing page and explain where to place the content and how exactly to word it, right? It's not just like what are you writing, or it's not just like, because some people aren't that great at writing. Like you may struggle to find the exact words that convey your idea. But I think if you understand you can refer to these examples that they're giving here, it makes it a lot easier, because you can almost just in some cases you can almost just cut out a word or two and say, oh, okay, like that makes sense for my use case now. All right. I think I'm done gushing over yep.so, but I love it. I will use it. I will pay for it. And I suggest anyone that's building anything to check this out, because it is definitely going to help guide you in the right direction, especially if you're getting started with an app idea. I'm curious to anyone who's watching the stream, like how much experience do you have building on Bubble, and why did you tune in? I'm curious. I'm for kind of looking towards which content direction to go in. I like kind of just exploring new products here. There's a variety of things I do. Tomorrow, actually talking to Marissa from Travel Trunk, who she's scaled her Bubble app and she's pivoted recently. She got funded. She's doing everything on Bubble, and she recently pivoted to focus on um, one specific provider for her platform. Um, so I'm really interested to talk to her tomorrow and see, like, she's been working on it since I met her back in 20 I want to say 2018, 2019. We met at the Bubble office, and she's just come so far with the app. And I just love when people stick it out and hash out all of the little problems that they come into, and they just keep going. So I'm super um I'm super pumped to have a chat with her. Got you. So how are you finding the learning curve in Bubble? Um I hear that, I remember what it was like when I first started working in Bubble, and it's kind of I know there's a lot more resources now, right? There's a lot more content on YouTube than when I started. But it's still a lot. It's still a lot. And I think the hardest thing is always going to be like, where do I start? What do I focus on first? Like, do I focus on fundamental features in Bubble, like learning what custom states are, learning how to work with APIs? Do I focus on building, just trying to get as far as I can building the idea I had? Uh, I'm also curious why did you start in Bubble, or why did you just stumble? Well, not why did you stumble across no code? What got you interested in no code? Like, what was the did you have an app idea that you're building? Did you come from any kind of technical background or anything like that? I'm always curious to see why people are interested in Bubble and no code and all that. But yeah, like I think I think there's definitely people that come for the marketing, or they come rather because like the messaging is sometimes that no code is going to be an easy thing to learn, and you can build your app in days, and especially with something like Bubble, you learn pretty quickly that it's pretty high effort. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of fundamental development principles that you still need to learn, even though it is no code. So I sympathize. I know, and even now myself, I'm learning Xano. I'm learning Xano now, which is a no code backend tool, and I'm kind of going through that process now too, where it's like I have to. I'm still like I understand how databases work now because I've been working in Bubble for so many years. So the concept of relational database, that took me a long time to learn, and now to kind of relearn a new platform for back end, like I'm going through that process again. I feel like I'm in this perpetual cycle of learning new stuff, and it's frustrating. If I'm to be honest, it's I guess it keeps me sharp, but it's frustrating to have to learn all this shit over and over again, the new terminology. All right, background in e-commerce marketing, and now wish to try Bubble. Got you. Okay, so you do have a background in marketing. That's good. That's good experience to come in with. I have an app idea which got me started with learning no code. A month into it, I discovered no code and thought this could be a game changer. Cool, cool. Yeah, I'm happy to see that. Um, are I'm curious also which how did you approach learning Bubble? Like, did you start with the boot camp? Are you just coming off that? Are you just trying to learn yourself on YouTube videos? Um, it's crazy because I see everyone's got like a different learning style. Like, I've seen people pick up Bubble in like a few weeks, and I mean, it definitely helps if you come in with some kind of development background. You can pick it up faster. And I've seen, people who, I mean, it took me, I want to say, probably 6 months to a year to really get comfortable. Actually, to be honest, I really didn't get 100% comfortable in Bubble until I started teaching it, because teaching it to other people really forced me to kind of like focus on the things that I really didn't know that well, like my weak spots. And having to explain that to somebody in a different way really strengthened my understanding. So people say like, "Oh, what's the best place to start?" or learning. If you really want to strengthen your understanding of Bubble, solve somebody else's problem. Like that, I can't give any better advice than really strengthening your understanding. Of course, you'll have to, I'm sure, go through the basic stuff, like, maybe a boot camp, maybe you build a few apps, um, to get yourself started. But if you take a look at the forum and see and start responding to the questions that people have there, you'll be amazed at how fast you're strengthening your own understanding of the platform by doing that. Like, I wish somebody had given me that advice. Like, don't just think you need to be the best Bubble developer, or you need to learn everything before you can start helping other people. You can start helping people with their problems straight away, and it does wonders, because for me, like, for example, when I was in the boot camps, it really forced me to think about the problem in a different way, approaching problems differently, because everyone's got their own use case and the way that they've set things up in their app, and it's just not the way I would have done it, which is not right or wrong. It doesn't matter. Sometimes it's not, like, sometimes the way that I did things was wrong, and like that person, because of the way that they set up their workflow, taught me something. It taught me to think differently about the problem that they were solving. So there's a lot to, like, helping other people with their problems that'll benefit you too. I hopped onto Bubble, got myself familiarized with the interface, watched a couple of basic videos. Got you. Okay. Since I did not have a dev background, there's still a lot to learn. I'm only new to this. All right. So check this out. I mean, tomorrow I've got Marissa, like I mentioned. But Wednesday night, I can do a build session. Let me try to think of like a good build that we can do together. And I'll do it on Wednesday. We'll build an app. We'll build a simple thing. If you're on Twitter, send me a DM at bubble underscore hack. Send me a DM and we'll figure out what to build on Wednesday. Okay. Good question here. Would you recommend taking a boot camp or diving headfirst into building apps and figuring out how to do stuff from the documentation / YouTube? Okay. Um, my thought on this, right? So I'll tell you I did the latter, right? I had an app idea, I started building it, I got frustrated, stopped building it, hired a team of developers to build what I should have been building. Uh, Spent about 20,000 on an app that I'll never be able to use. It was coded in Ruby, and then I went back to Bubble and took it a little more seriously. That was my learning curve. And I don't necessarily recommend it. Again, back then it was really like I talk about like back in the day. This we're talking about maybe 5 years ago, 4 years ago. But there just wasn't a lot of content. I think the best approach to it is to first buy one of the Udemy courses, like Build Camp or Gregory John's Bubble Bootcamp. It's on Udemy. It's like I don't know, $20, I think. I would go through that course and get a base understanding of the fundamentals at the same time also building your idea on the side, because just going straight through a a series, a course, is kind of boring, right? Because nothing really applies to you, right? You may come across like at the perfect time, like, oh, cool, I need a back end workflow for this functionality that I'm trying to build. But it's hard to line that up so much. So I would say while you're do that course, yes, because it provides context for all of the things that you should be aware of, but also be building your own app at the same time, and note where you come into the roadblocks, because when you come into the roadblocks, that's where like, okay, these are the areas that I should focus on. So again, this is very little. It's very little. Money, like it's a very small financial investment to start learning this. It's a high time investment. You're going to be putting a lot of time into this. So that's where I suggest to start. Now, if you want to take that to the next level, after you've started building a little bit and you've gone through at least one online course that's given you a good broad um, overview of how the platform works. Then, if you want to take your education to the next level, I would say then go to something like SaaS Camp, like what JJ Engler does, or Build Camp with um, Gregory John again, where there's more live instruction. Also, what you can do as you're building, right? But like you don't have to do that. Let me be clear about that. You don't have to do that. Only if you feel like you really like you want to put that financial investment in, because you want to progress faster. Maybe I think it also depends on like the expectations that you go in with, like the timelines that you set for yourself, because it's if you're okay with taking the next 6 months to gradually learn this, which is totally cool, like you're on your own timeline. No one says that you have to learn this in a condensed time period. If you're cool with that, then just do it at your own pace. Sometimes I think what is good is to get a coach, right? Like if you have there is something that somewhere between the the online tutorials and the live instruction that I think is helpful, right? If you can get someone to, you pay them $100 to work with you for like an hour, and then you say, and then like, I'm stuck on this problem. Can you help me through this and provide some context as to why I'm stuck here? That's a good way to, save yourself 4 or 5 hours of struggling through what you don't know. Sometimes it's hard to even Google stuff, right? If you don't know what the problem is, it's hard to even put that into a Google search sometimes. Like finding the right wording. Hopefully that takes you to the good forum post, but sometimes if you don't know exactly what you don't know what you don't know what you don't know, so you don't know what the problem that you're running into is. So that's where I think like some live instruction or a coach or something like that, it can be helpful and save you a little bit of time. But my biggest like piece of advice for people that are just starting out is like, take your time with it. It's a skill. It's a hard skill, and there's so many applications to it. No pun intended. There's so many. It's such a useful skill to have. It's not something that you're going to get amazing at in a month or 2 months. It's like it's going to take time. You're going to have to run into a bunch of roadblocks. But if you are confident enough that you are solving you confident in your ability to solve your own problems, you're good. You're good. You're going to keep going. You're going to be able to build useful technical solutions to problems that people have, and these problems are everywhere. Like it's amazing, like how much how many people don't even know that this is possible, right? Like how many people don't know that this is even an option for them. So I say take your time, pay some respect to the learning curve. The learning curve is real. It will get frustrating, guaranteed, but you're gonna feel limitless after you have this skill that enables you to build software. If that's not a background that you come from, I come from an HR background. I have no business building software. I have no business building applications, and yet here I am talking about this stuff, building things. It's crazy. All right, I think that's my spiel for tonight. Um, Dude, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, Sarthak, Sarthak. But yeah, DM me and we'll figure out what to build on Wednesday. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to check in with Marissa of Travel Trunk and see how she's gotten paid users and funding and employees, all that good stuff. We can check that out tomorrow.